Okay, so I'm going to do another video today addressing some questions that were put to me, or some comments that were put to me about cleaning and maintaining your weapons. Uh, it's always important. If you fired the weapon, anytime, or even just taking it out and run around the woods with it, whatever the case may be, anytime that weapon is taken out of an environment uh, that it stays relatively clean in, I believe you should clean it. The materials to do so don't cost much money, and it's worth saving your life or your eyeballs or whatever, you know, to just go ahead and clean it. I've seen several videos where just a raindrop down the barrel has caused, you know, water. Water has retention. It can't move out of the way fast enough for the bullet to exit the muzzle, and it's caused muzzles to fail. And banana peel. When people haven't gotten hurt and it's happened, I find it hilarious because people don't think of water as something that could make that happen, but it does. Very rare, but it does. But always, if you have the time, maintain your weapon. And I don't care what weapon it is. People tell me all the time, well, I can take my AK and I can just chuck it in the dirt and cover it up with, God knows what, and spray it with water and pee on it, and, whatever the case may be. There's some pretty extreme AK reliance believers out there. What I will say is, yes, the mechanism for the AK is an amazing mechanism. However, the muzzle is a muzzle. If something gets in the muzzle and you send a round down that muzzle and that round stops in the muzzle, your gun goes boom. Whether it's an AK, an AR, a 22, a pistol-loaded carbine, whatever the case may be, an AK is just like any other weapon. Clean it and maintain it when you have the time. If you don't, then it may injure you. Cleaning methods. For certain weapons, it's different. Prime example, all of my guns have been unloaded and checked several times before I started this video, so this is my 22. It is a Marlin 22. I don't like taking it apart. It's not that it's complicated, but it's just a very tedious task to do so. I don't put a lot of rounds through it. It doesn't get a lot of powder and dirt. And I use just a simple bore snake with a cloth tied to the end for oil, or, what do you call that? For oil or just solvents. I'll put a cloth pad on and run solvents down the barrel, and then another dry pad until it comes through clean. No need to take that apart every time I fire it. Pistol-loaded carbine, AR platforms, anything like that. They are moderate. 50 rounds put through this, in my opinion, you're going to want to take it apart and clean it. People complain about this particular weapon, trigger grouping getting stiff, the safety being stiff, anything like that. They complain that that happens, and if you don't clean it, of course it's going to happen. My bolt action is beside my bed and happens to have rounds in it at the moment, so I'm not going to pick it up for the demonstration of this video. But bolt action, take the bolt out, run bore snake or cleaning rods or whatever you want through there, through the bore, oil up your bolt. It doesn't have to be taken completely apart and cleaned every time you fire it. I don't see why anybody would put 50 rounds to a bolt action at one time unless they were at the range, but you know, that's to each his own. You don't have to clean it every time you fire it. Shotguns. I've got a single shot shotgun, but automatics and or semi-automatic and pump action, you know, clean them. Not that complicated. It's worth it. It's worth the time you're going to put in. Pistols. 20 rounds, 50 rounds. If you have the time, clean it. It's plain and simple. You don't want it makes it run better. It makes it a better tool. You keep it maintained and it functions better. Any machine that you maintain, just like a clock, the more you oil it, the better it gets. The more you maintain it, the better time it keeps. You just have to do it. Never put your muzzle in the dirt. Everybody knows that. If you have a malfunction, well, that's for a safety video. I'll do that in a safety video. But all I'm saying is always make sure your barrel's clear. Anytime you get ready to shoot, check your barrel. Don't point it at your face. Don't go to the range and point your barrel at your face. Stick your flashlight at the end of the barrel, look into the chamber. If you can't do it that way, get a little mirror. Dental mirrors work great for that. But just make sure you check your barrel and make sure it's clean. Carry a bore snake all the time. For any weapon that you have, just carry a bore snake because it's nice and simple. You just drop the brass into the chamber, run it down the barrel, pull the bore snake through, it brushes the barrel. I'm not going to say clean, but enough that you're probably not going to have a failure. So yeah, that's my video on preventative maintenance.